welcome back. I'm Dai, and today I'm bringing you my July Manga Haul. I actually went to Barnes & Noble for the first time in a really long time to shop in person. Also for my manga book club. If you had been following me for a little bit, you might have seen my first impressions video go up in July talking about my monochrome manga club, which is the name that I decided on to talk about the selections that we are reading at the Barnes & Noble, because I didn't want to or couldn't bring the name over from the Barnes & Noble because obviously it's affiliated there. But I wanted to open up the selections to people to talk about here on my channel. So in case you're interested in reading any of our selections with us, you can check those monochrome manga club first impressions videos to find out what I thought about the selections and then find out what we're reading for the month after. So again, I'll link that video down in the description box below in case you're interested in reading along and letting me know what you think of August's selections. But yeah, it was really interesting to talk to people in person about manga again, and really great to peruse the shelves at Barnes & Noble because it's been quite a while throughout the lockdown and everything that's been going on. I basically have just been putting in kind of online orders, if you will. Not really. I make a list, I send it with my mom to work, and she brings them home. So I just look at the release schedule, and that's how I've been shopping over the last year and a half or so. So yeah, I did do some damage while I was at the Barnes & Noble, and I also picked up something from the Animanga Convention, which we went to. And if you want to hear about that and see some clips of the manga shopping and the Animanga Convention, you can check out my July vlog, which is already up on my channel. Link again down in the description box below. But let's get into the manga that I picked up during the month of July. Well, it's not everything I picked up because I'm still waiting on a few things to arrive, but these are the things that have arrived in July. Again, I don't put these mangas in any particular order, so they're not by publisher or by demographic or anything like that. I just collect everything up in a bag, and then at the end of the month I pull them out to share with you. So right off the top here, I have one of my most anticipated volumes. This is LDK Volume 16 by Ayu Watanabe. This one's published by Kodansha and rated older teen. This is a series that I have been really enjoying, but it comes out so slowly. I've been waiting for this volume for what feels like forever. But this one follows our two characters on the cover, and the girl character, well, the two characters are basically living on their own in this apartment complex, and that's why it's LDK, living, dining, kitchen. But they're both living on their own for their own reasons, and they're in high school. And the girl ends up ruining the guy's apartment without going into very many details or spoilers or anything like that. So he ends up moving in with her while his apartment is getting repaired, and because of the rules of the school and things like that, nobody can know that they're living together. And plus the guy is super popular, so there's that as well. This is a highly entertaining series for me. There are a lot of problems that I think people can find with it, but for entertainment, I do find this very entertaining. I did actually rent the live action movie from Viki. It was only 99 cents, but I rented it to watch because I was just missing this series so much, waiting for this volume to come out. And at the time, I thought it was like a spin-off that was completely made up because it introduces Shuhei's cousin. And in reading the back of this volume, the cousin comes in this volume. So I'm thinking that I've already seen stuff that has happened, which kind of disappoints me a little bit, but kind of doesn't. I did really enjoy that movie. So if you enjoy this series, I definitely go check it out at Viki, because like I said, the rental was only 99 cents. But enough about this one. Next up on this stack, I have volumes 2 and 3 of The Terrified Teacher, or A Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School. This one is published by Yen Press and is rated teen. This one follows, I can't remember, I believe it's a human teacher, and he goes and teaches at a yokai academy, and they like to play pranks on him. I read the first volume for a manga club 2 years ago, I think, and I really enjoyed it, and I meant to pick up more from the series at the time, and I just forgot about it. So I decided to go ahead and pick up a couple more volumes from this series. I'm really looking forward to getting into it because I remember that it was pretty comedic. And so yeah, volumes 2 and 3 to continue my reading with that series. Next up, I have volume 2 of 10 Count. Oh, I didn't even tell you who A Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School was by. It's by Mai Tanaka. So, second volume of 10 Count, story and art by Rahito Takarai. This one is published by Sublime, rated mature. I decided to go ahead and try this one, volume 5 volume. I read the first volume in June for the Manga Pride Readathon. This is one of Bizarre Individual's favorites, and he was one of the hosts of the Manga Pride Readathon. And I did a vlog including my first impressions on the first volume. I was very surprised because it was one of the series that I didn't think I'd ever touch with a 10-foot pole. The premise just sounded to me like it was going to be something that crossed the line for me because of the professional nature of one of the characters. So I had always heard that this story was about a psychologist and his patient, and then they get into this romantic relationship, and I just didn't want to go near something like that with a 10-foot pole. For me, that just crossed the lines of professionalism, and it didn't sound something like that I was going to enjoy. But I trust Bizarre and his taste in things, and so I decided to go ahead and give it a go. It ended up not being what I thought. So they aren't in a professional type of relationship at all before they get into whatever they're going to get into, because in the first volume they don't get into anything. But I was very surprised that it wasn't what I had always, I guess, assumed it was going to be based on what everybody was saying. And so I decided to go ahead and pick up the second volume to see how I feel. And I think this is going to be one that I'll decide whether or not I'm going to continue volume by volume. So picked up this one. Then I picked up a series that I've been interested in for a long time, but I just keep forgetting to pick it up. And that is Love Me for Who I Am, story and art by Kata Kunayama. This one's published by 7 Seas and is rated teen. And so I picked up the first 3 volumes. This is one, I believe, is about a non-binary character who works at a maid cafe. And so I was very interested in that premise. And so we have volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. And so I was really happy that they had these at Barnes & Noble, because I have been trying to get this series for a while, and every time I checked on it, they were out of stock. But all 3 volumes were finally there, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up. I think they had up to volume 5, but they had 1, 2, and 3, and then there was no 4, and then there was 5, so I just decided to go with the first 3 volumes. Then I picked up volume 1 of Pretty Boy Detective Club, original story by Nishioishin, manga by Suzuka Oda, original character design by Kinako. This one is published by Vertical, and I presume is rated teen, because I have already seen a majority of this anime. So this follows a Pretty Boy Detective Club plus 1. and they basically figure out small mysteries between the 6 of them. And so this one is actually rather really thick. I think my daughter enjoys the series more than I did, which is why we ended up going with the manga version as opposed to the light novel. If it was just me, I would have picked up the light novel, but because my daughter will probably be reading this one more than I will, I decided to go ahead and pick up the manga version instead. So I'm curious to see if these manga volumes will go past what I've seen in the anime. The anime was enjoyable, but it's lacking something for me. But like I said, I think my daughter enjoyed it more than I did. I do still have, I believe, one more episode to watch before I've seen the entire anime. But that is that. Then I picked up something that I've been meaning to pick up for a while, and every time I see it in store, I just say, okay, I'll get it next time, I'll get it next time. Well, this was the next time. So I picked up Ibizu by Haruto Ryo. This one is published by Yen Press? Yeah, Yen Press, and is rated mature. So you can see it is in plastic. I believe this is a horror story. A girl in gothic Lolita garb will sometimes appear at the local garbage drop in the middle of the night, putting a question to passerbys: would you have a little sister? To reply is to seal one's fate and meet with a diabolical death at the hands of none other than this twisted sister. And tonight, another man will fall prey to the horror. So this one sounds super intriguing. I think I'm going to pick it up in October because that's kind of when I like to have those creepy vibes. So I finally got that one for my collection, and I'm super excited for it. Next up, I'm continuing my purchase of Black Butler by Yana Toboso. This one's published by Yen Press, rated older teen. I have volumes 23, 24, and 25. So this is a series that we have started to collect since we have kind of taken a hiatus of borrowing physical copies from the library. I am still borrowing a lot of digital stuff from the library, but they don't have very much manga on the digital platforms, but they do have other like novels and comics available on the digital platforms from my library. So I've been using that for most of the novels and things that I read. But as far as manga goes, they really only have like Food Wars and Naruto, and so things like this that aren't like super mainstream popular, they don't have as far as digital copies go. So when everything was shut down, I just decided to go ahead and start purchasing them because I want to have them for my collection. So this one follows a butler who is one hell of a butler, and he has this pact with CL. And so they basically go around figuring out mysteries for the queen, and yeah, it's very episodic. I've enjoyed watching the anime of what I've seen anyway. I've enjoyed reading the volumes, so I have added these more to my collection. I do still need to read the other ones that I have, but I'm hoping to get to those sooner than later. I have volume 7 of Phantom Tales of the Night by Matsuri. This one's published by Yen Press, rated older teen. This is another one of those series that I have read the first volume. We read it for Manga Club again. Really enjoyed it. Reminded me of Nightmare Inspector by Shin Mashiba. I know you've heard me talk about that series a lot. It is one that I don't hear anybody talking about. I haven't heard anyone else talk about it. But this very much gave me the same vibes. It's about an innkeeper who trades you sanctuary for your secrets. I believe that's what this one is about. So I just love these covers. They're just so interesting. And this one has a lot of color, so it really grabs the eye with the goldfish and everything. But I do really enjoy this series as well. So something I picked up at the Animanga Convention was my very first art book, and that was The Gentleman's Alliance Cross, Arina Tanemura, illustrations, art of Shoujo Beat. So this one, I believe, is just Gentleman's Alliance Cross illustrations, and if you've been around for a little bit, you know that the Gentleman's Alliance Cross is a series that I have read a few times and I really enjoy, and that Arina Tanemura's art style is one of my favorites. So when I saw this, I had to have it, and as you can see, I haven't opened it yet. It is still in its plastic, but I'm really looking forward to ripping into this one and seeing what's inside. So I'm very happy with that purchase. Speaking of Arina Tanemura, I have Idle Dreams Volume 7, story and art by Arina Tanemura. This one is published by Viz, rated teen. It's about a woman who takes an experimental drug which reverts her outside appearance back to her 15-year-old self, and I believe she tries to redo things in her life or something like that. So this is a series that I am looking forward to getting into. I didn't realize that I stopped collecting this one at volume 3, so I have 1, 2, 3, and now 7. So I need to pick up volumes 4, 5, and 6 so that I can close that gap. Next up, I have a Kamika Kill volume 3. This is by Takahiro, art by Tetsuya Toshiro. This published by Yen Press, rated older teen. This is another one of those series that we read for our manga club, and I really enjoyed it. Meant to pick up more volumes of it at the time and didn't, and now I'm having a hard time finding the volumes. I've ordered volume 2. It still hasn't come in yet, so I am waiting on that. Then I filled in another gap in my collection with volume 3 of The Girl from the Other Side, Shularoon. This one's story and art by Nagabe, published by 7 Seas, rated teen. I've had 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 8 because I found them for like a quarter of the price somewhere. So I've been waiting for volume 3 and volume 7 to come into stock, and they just haven't. So I finally got my hands on volume 3, and I'm still waiting on volume 7. So I'm glad to have at least up to volume 6 now in my collection. And then I have volumes 1 and 2 of Primitive Boyfriend, story and art by Yoshineko Kitafuku, published by 7 Seas, rated teen. This is a story about, I believe it is a Neanderthal and a girl and a romance, I think. Not sure. But again, I found these for like a quarter of the price. So I believe there's only one more volume that I need to pick up to have the whole thing. And yeah, I thought, why not for a quarter of the price? Then I have Sorry for My Familiar, volume 6, story and art by Teka Yaguraba. This one is published by 7 Seas, rated teen. This is another one of those series that I find really cheap, and I've just been picking them up as I find them, and I haven't yet dug into it. But it sounds interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what I think when I do get into that one. Then I have volume 6 of Harukana Receive, story and art by Nyoi Jizai, published by 7 Seas, rated teen. This one follows 2 cousins and their quest to play beach volleyball without giving away more than that. But I really enjoy this series. Not a big fan of the string bikinis and the beach volleyball, but I enjoy the relationship the 2 girls have with each other, and learning all the little aspects about beach volleyball. Next up, I have Laughing Under the Clouds volume 2 by Karakara Kemuri. This one's published by Tokyo Pop, rated teen. This, I believe, is a fantasy mystery. Haven't dug into it yet because I'd like to have one more volume before I do that. But the premise sounded very intriguing to me, and I'm into lots of mystery. I read mostly mystery as far as novels go, so this one's right down my alley. Next up, I have The Witch and the Beast Volume 6 by Kosuke Satake. This one's published by Kodansha, rated older teen. This one follows a cursed person who's looking for the witch that cursed them so that they can become uncursed, because in this world the only way to get uncursed is to find the witch that cursed you. And I really enjoyed it. It is a bit gory, so if you're not into that type of thing, definitely give this one a pass. But I'm really loving how they're doing these covers, and they switch from dark to light, and I'm especially loving this particular cover. Next up, I've got Soul Eater Perfect Edition Volume 4 by Atsushi Okubo. This one is published by Square Enix Manga, rated older teen. I am collecting this series in the Perfect Editions. I have seen the anime, but I have only read the first volume of the single edition release of this series. It is an anime that I really enjoyed, but after reading the first volume, because I read it from Manga Club and it was a little bit more, it showed a little bit more skin than I was comfortable with the audience that comes to Manga Club, because I do have some youngins there. I try not to get into older teen series that show a lot of skin, but I had forgotten about the witch character, and so yeah, I got a little bit nervous about that when we were reading it. Now I pre-look at everything before we decide on manga selections, so that was a real eye-opening experience for me. I know it's not really a big deal because it's more like a Barbie nudity. There's no like definition or anything like that, but I was still very uncomfortable. And I was uncomfortable with the fact that I thought their parents might have a problem, but it didn't seem like that, so whew, took a pass on that one, thank goodness. But yeah, this was definitely an eye-opening experience for me leading that manga club. And so now I do definitely pre-look at everything before we decide on selections for the month. But that's a long-winded thing to say that I am collecting these in the perfect editions, and I'll probably read them after I get the whole thing. I know this is a very long series, and so it's going to be a while until I can dig into this, but like I said, I've seen the anime, so I kind of know what to expect from it. And I'm looking forward to seeing or re-experiencing this story. Okay, this is the last of the manga, but I do still have a couple graphic novels to share with you afterwards. So I have volumes 1 and volume 3 of the case study of Vanitas by Jun Mochizuki. This one's published by Yen Press, rated older teen. I'm obviously missing volume 2. It hasn't come in yet. They sent me 2 copies of volume 1 instead of volume 1 and 2. So I'm getting that fixed. I'm waiting for volume 2. But this is a series that my daughter was interested in for a while. Like a couple years ago, she was interested in it, but she's one of those people that just won't tell you what she wants. Like she'll say, "Oh yeah, that sounds interesting," but she'll never tell me, "Can I have this?" So I just never picked it up because I think we started to read Pandora Hearts by Jun Mochizuki, and it didn't resonate with me. I was very confused and I wasn't really interested in it, but my daughter, really enjoyed it. And so when this one came out, even though I believe it's vampires, I was just like, because I was so confused with the storytelling in Pandora Hearts. So she finally said, "I'm interested in case study of Vanitas. I believe there's an anime coming out." And so I decided to go ahead and pick up at least the first 3 volumes and see what I thought about it. And then if I still don't enjoy it and she does, we'll continue collecting for her. But I'm interested to see what I think about this one once I get volume 2. So that's all of the manga that I have, plus an art book. But the last things I have to share with you are my Witch graphic novels. If you've seen any of my other manga hauls recently, you know that I've been collecting the Witch graphic novel series, and so I finally got in volume 8, which is part 3, volume 2. I've been waiting on this one for a while because I have part 5. So I believe it was 2 or 3 months ago that I ordered part 3. So now I have all of part 3. I do have part 1 on my TBR for August. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on that, I'll definitely be reading it in August. But I picked up part 5, volume 1, so this is volume 13. Part 5, volume 3, which is volume 15. And part 5, volume 4, which is volume number 16. These are by several different authors and illustrators. And so I've been picking these up like one part a month, but obviously I'm missing volume 2 of part 5. So they are having the same issue where I've ordered them and it's taking a really long time to get certain volumes in. These are published by JY, which is an imprint of Yen Press. And so I really like these publications. It is a full color publication, and it's got really thick paper, and so I'm looking forward to digging into these. Like I said, it is a series my daughter was really interested in when she was a child, and so it's been one that I've been wanting to revisit, especially with the fact that there are so many more parts than there is animation for. And so yeah, that is the last of my haul. So let me see if I can stack it all up and at least give you a little glimpse of the damage that I did in July. Give me a minute. So this is going to be the best that I can do for now as far as a stack goes. And yeah, so let me know down in the comments below if you picked up anything interesting during the month of July, or if you attended anything interesting in the month of July. I'd really love to know. Also, let me know if you read any of these volumes and what you thought of them, but please try not to be too spoilery because I don't want to be spoiled. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for this manga haul. I do already have some stuff that has showed up for August, so I'm looking forward to seeing all of that at the end of the month. And so if you've made it to this point of the video, if you could leave me a sports emoji down in the comments below, because as of the day I'm filming this, the Olympics is still on. So if you could leave me a sports emoji, I would greatly appreciate it, and that would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye!